What's good, folks? It's your boy Isaac, aka Polo, Young Polo, back with another edition of Polo Talk Sports with your boy. Finna talk about sports. Now, this is going to be another edition of Polo's predictions. I believe this is part 3 or 4. Basically, I'm going to be giving 3 predictions, one for the near future, the far future, and the distant future. It's centered around players, teams, coaches, anything in the sports world is all fair game for criteria for this segment. And shout out to the folks that's following me on Twitter and on Instagram, following the YouTube channel, Instagram account. And obviously, the next time I post, it'll probably be about this video. And also, I got my Power Rankings quarterback edition coming soon, my top 5. So I'm going to drop that also in the next few days. So I'm going to post about it. When I post them, obviously, share the love, like the story, repost it, and, help me continue to build this family. It's a team effort at the end of the day. And on my end, I'm going to try to improve in terms of, the visual aid and, presentation overall. So we'll build together. And let's get right into it, man. My first prediction is the Brooklyn Nets. The NBA preseason is officially underway. Tip-off is about a little under 2 weeks away, I believe. And my prediction for the Nets is through the first 10 to 15, 20 games, through the first month or so of the season, I believe they'll be a top 3 seed in the league. Not just in the East, in the league. Yes, I said it. Obviously, Kevin Durant, the Slim Reaper, has been in his feelings the last couple months, getting active with the Twitter fingers, but it seems like he's settled in and staying. He had to squash that little beef he had with Nash. That whole fiasco this summer was crazy. Obviously, we know what Mr. World is flat, Kyrie Irving. Tried to get out the same way KD did. They both tried to get out from under the Nets, but it seems like they're both stuck there. But they are both 2 certified bucket getters. Kyrie is the bag man himself, obviously the best handles of all time. Kevin Durant, the Slim Reaper, easy money sniper, 2 of the top 5 scorers in the league, and obviously the new man in the room, the man in question, the light skin of the year for sure, Mr. Ben Simmons himself. He seems to have found the Lord, found peace, and also to have been in the lab, got back surgery, or whatever it is. But it seems like he's ready to play basketball again, and he's one of the only all-stars that on a nightly basis isn't a consistent scoring threat. But how do you combat that? Pair him with 2 of the top 5 scorers in the NBA, both are all-stars themselves. It just fits. Also, they got shooting with Steph Curry, Joe Harris, and his older Australian brothers, fellow Aussie, and Patty Mills. So they have that relationship to help with the chemistry. And I just believe it fits and it works. The only problem with the Brooklyn Nets the last couple years has been what? Their defense and Ben Simmons. If not Defensive Player of the Year this coming up season, he's going to be proven to be one of the top 5 defensive players in the league, as he has been since he's been in the league. It's just a perfect fit. And next up for the prediction for the far future, I got a 2-way prediction, 2 players. This is Von Miller and Micah Parsons. Von Miller and Micah Parsons, I believe they'll finish as 2 of the 3 Defensive Player of the Year finalists at the end of the regular season. I believe the votes are counted like sometime before, wild card weekend, or I believe by week 16 or whatever the case, or maybe 17 since it's an 18-week season now. So we'll know who the 3 finalists are before the season actually ends. So that's why it's a far, not distant prediction. But the Von Miller just looks tough. That Bills defense has been legit for years. Von Miller, plug and play. All of a sudden, it's like he's the best player on the defense, and it's one of the best, if not the best, defense in the league. We saw what they did to Lamar Jackson. We saw what Von Miller, especially, did in that pass rush did to Lamar Jackson, and we saw what they did to Tua and the Dolphins, following putting up 500 yards or whatever on the Ravens, which is another legit defense that is obviously struggling through this point, but they'll bounce back. And obviously Micah Parsons, man, I still hate the Cowboys. And if you're a Cowboys fan, I'm sorry, but I hate you too. We don't ever have to meet. It's just how it is. You're just some of the worst people, on the planet. It is what it is, man. But that Micah Parsons, man, he changed the culture the moment they drafted him, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We see his effect on Diggs, on DeMarcus Lawrence, who was type washed before Michael Parsons got there. All of a sudden, he looks legit. This young safety, number 6, Wilson, I believe is his name. He looks like a thumper out there. He's thriving off that energy that Michael Parsons brings into the building. And he's super sudden, super quick. It's a different breed. It's not Ray Lewis. It's not Luke Kuechly. I believe he's faster and more explosive than both of those players, but I do believe those players did hit harder, I would say. But, I think he's more bendy, and he could definitely rush the passer from the DN position, something that they really didn't do too often, which is his versatility is crazy. Last but not least is the Green Bay Packers, man. Obviously, they just lost Tay, a fellow Fresno State alumni, and he's on the Raiders now, and obviously that wide receiver room is nothing special. And on top of that, Aaron Rodgers was probably out there in Peru doing shrooms, doing training camp when he should have been, getting the chemistry together with all these young wide receivers. But we see their chemistry building. Obviously, they're still making rookie mistakes. We see a lot of big drop passes, a lot of fumbles, things of that nature. But as they build, this is essentially their preseason, because on top of training camp, he didn't even play any of the preseason games. So, and they're still 3-1 at this point, and their defense is going to be legit, and the whole season as they have been. So we'll see. I just believe the Packers are going to the NFC Championship. I don't know if they're going to the Super Bowl. I had the Saints. I'm not feeling too great about that pick at this point. But, it's either going to be, I think at this point, Packers and Niners look pretty special. I think if the Bucks get it together, a Packers-Bucks rematch in the NFC Championship game is also on the table. Who else? Obviously, if the Rams sign Odell and get that thing figured out, and if the Packers get Odell, it's just game over. That's my pick. They're 100% winning, Odell back-to-back rings, because he's really him. He's really like that. But that's basically it for this video, and, we out. Let's get it.